So Netflix is back at it again, and this time they're aiming their sights on My Hero Academia. And I really don't know how to feel about this. On one side, I'm kind of excited because I can't remember the last time we got a Hollywood live action movie of an anime. It's been a while, and for those of you who'll be saying One Piece live action, that doesn't count because it's a TV series and that's a completely different ball game. The most recent big Hollywood live action adaptation that we have gotten are Knights of the Zodiac, which was the live action adaptation of the iconic Saint Seiya anime, and the live action adaptation came out in 2023 and went under many people's radar because it was mediocre and forgettable. And the other one is Alita Battle Angel, which came out in 2019. The Alita Battle Angel live action was a decent live action Hollywood movie, and the word Hollywood is key because when it comes to Japanese live action adaptations, there are quite a few actually good live action movies such as the Kingdom movies and the Rurouni Kenshin movies. I'm mainly focusing on the Hollywood live action movies because the My Hero Academia live action is going to be made by Hollywood with Netflix and Legendary Pictures at the helm. There has been some hesitancy with Hollywood delving into anime live action adaptations because of the obvious flops. But nowadays, anime is more popular than ever, and we are actually seeing good anime live action adaptations from the West, such as the One Piece live action adaptation. The first season of Netflix's One Piece seems like it broke the curse of live action adaptations, but that'll only be true if the upcoming live action such as the My Hero Academia live action, Naruto live action, and Bleach live action are going to be good. But here's my problem with it. I believe the My Hero Academia live action should have been a season of television with multiple episodes, like how the Netflix One Piece was, instead of it being a movie, because they'll probably try and adapt the first two seasons of the anime, meaning from the introduction arc up until the Hero Sports Festival arc. If they included Hero Killer arc with Stain as well, I think it'll be a bit too much and would affect the quality of the movie, because I don't see cramming that amount of story into a single episode going well at all. That's why I preferred it being a TV series instead of a movie, so that we can get less cutting of content and less restructuring of the plot to suit the movie format. But I still have faith that this My Hero Academia movie will be decent. One of those reasons is the screenwriter for this movie being Jason Fuchs. Jason Fuchs is notable for working on a superhero movie before, that movie being Wonder Woman, and in my opinion and many others, the first Wonder Woman movie is considered to be the best of the DCEU films alongside the Snyder Cut Justice League movie. And to further add to my faith that this live action will be good, the director will be Shinsuke Sato. Remember the Kingdom live action movies that were really good that I spoke about at the beginning of this video? Yeah. They were all directed by Shinsuke Sato. Shinsuke Sato not only worked on the Kingdom movies but also on the Death Note adaptation. No, not that one. I'm talking about the 2016 Japanese Days No live action adaptation, which was actually good. The way Netflix and Legendary Pictures are developing this My Hero Academia live action adaptation is actually reassuring. My only worry with Shinsuke Sato is that this is his first Western directorial job. All his movies before this has been Japanese live action adaptations. So that's the only worry I have. Other than that, I think he's a solid appointment. We have nothing official when it comes to casts, but we have some information when it comes to the rumored casts. Rumored casts include David Mazouz as Izuku Midoriya, Jace Norman as Katsuki Bakugo, and others, but none are officially confirmed yet. When it comes to David Mazouz as Izuku Midoriya, he kind of has his physical characteristics, and with the makeup and customs department doing their work on him, he can definitely look the part. My only problem with him is his age. Izuku Midoriya in the first parts of My Hero Academia is supposed to be a middle schooler who just got into high school, so he should be around 16 years of age. But David Mazouz, the actor, is actually a 24-year-old man unless they want to age him up in the live action. I'm curious to see as to how they'll make it work. When it comes to his acting abilities, I'm actually familiar with him. I used to be a fan of the Gotham TV show back in the day, and David Mazouz played as a young Bruce Wayne, and he was actually decent in that TV show. He goes goes from a broken boy to a kid who is angry and wants revenge, and he played those range of emotions quite well. And it is very important an actor who's going to play Midoriya have that range of acting capability, because as we see in the manga and anime, Izuku Midoriya has many emotional moments, especially when it comes to him confronting his weakness, and his facial expressions are very expressive, and I want to see that expressiveness translated as much as possible to live action, because most of the times when animated shows get adapted, including the good ones, the expressiveness of the characters is often lost. One recent show I recently experienced this exact same phenomenon with was the How to Train Your Dragon live action adaptation. In How to Train Your Dragon live action, the story is adapted faithfully, and it is quite a good adaptation of the 2010 How to Train Your Dragon movie. To be honest with you, I'm quite confident in saying it is the best remake of old Hollywood animated movies I've ever watched. But there is one glaring problem, and this glaring problem will only be noticeable for people who love the original animation, and that is the expressiveness of the characters. The emotions are still there in the How to Train Your Dragon live action, but it is not quite as hitting as in the animation, and this is also a problem I experienced with the Netflix One Piece live action adaptation. The emotional moments of One Piece that were in the anime are still there and are still impactful, but they are more impactful in the anime and manga. But I've seen people whose first experience of the How to Train Your Dragon and One Piece stories was through their live action, and they still love the emotional moments. So this problem I'm mainly talking about is only going to affect people who are fans of the original animation. Won't probably love it to the same degree as the anime or manga, because we are already accustomed to the high expressiveness of animated characters in manga drawings, but people who will be experiencing the story of My Hero Academia for the first time will not be faced by this problem at all, since like I mentioned before, they won't have anything to compare it to like us who are already fans of the manga and anime. Unless Netflix and Legendary Pictures drop the ball on this one, I don't see how the emotional beats of My Hero Academia story won't translate. And another major important thing that this live action My Hero Academia movie may do is revive the interest in the My Hero Academia story and make it more popular than it already is. I'm saying this because I remember a time when My Hero Academia was the go-to anime after Naruto ended, and people were talking about it like it was the face of shonen, and for a time it was, but other new gen stories started to pop up like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, which I feel like stole the shine from My Hero Academia. And with this My Hero Academia live action movie succeeding, I believe there is a high probability of it succeeding because of the screenwriter and the man who is going to be directing it, Shinsuke Sato. Like I said before, Shinsuke Sato is the man responsible for many successful live action Japanese movies. The Kingdom movies that he made were so successful that it raised the popularity of the Kingdom manga to such heights that the manga got into the top 3 best-selling manga of the year multiple times. And with him doing his magic on My Hero Academia, it's highly likely we will see the popularity of My Hero Academia rise even more. But I'm skeptical manga sales wise, since the My Hero Academia manga has already ended. But we've seen mangas that have already ended get into the top 10 best-selling manga of the year multiple times because they had a movie released that year. Shows that remind me of this are the Slam Dunk and Haikyuu movies, especially when it comes to Slam Dunk. I remember the latest Slam Dunk movie titled The Last Slam Dunk, which came out in 2022, being received so well that it got this new gen fans of anime and manga to check out Slam Dunk. And mind you, Slam Dunk is a manga that came out in 1990, so even if the My Hero Academia manga and anime end by the time this My Hero Academia live action comes out, it will still help the manga and anime to be read and watched by even more people. So in conclusion, the fact that we are getting a My Hero Academia live action is both scary and exciting at the same time, but the fact that promising and trustworthy people are at the helm of this project must give us My Hero Academia fans peace of mind. Also, for the life of me, I can't see Netflix fumbling live action adaptations of anime, because in my opinion they succeeded in adapting a more difficult show to adapt in One Piece. If you succeed in adapting One Piece, you must succeed in adapting My Hero Academia. I also would want to see Kohei Horikoshi involved in the process of making this movie as an executive, Kohei Horikoshi being the author of My Hero Academia, because his advices and notes on what to do and what not to do will be key, because this adaptation is going to be a movie where they're going to be forced to restructure the story, and what to include and what not to include must go through Kohei Horikoshi before they are implemented. And yeah, my overall thoughts are leaning towards more positive than negative, even though we are getting an anime live action movie, because of the people involved in making it, and I'm very interested in seeing how this movie develops. If you've made it this far into the video, please make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe, and with that said, see you guys in the next one.